Hopefully this works. I've been messing around with my lighting, and honestly, I don't want to be stopped anymore. You know what? The whole thing about this video, let's just jump right into this. Hi, love, I'm Anjuli, and I am a deaf glam blogger, whatever, etc., etc., etc. Listen, it honestly doesn't even matter anymore because I started a blog, okay? I started a blog because in the infamous world, the infamous words of Kim Cattrall is, I don't want to be anywhere for even an hour where I'm not enjoying myself. I'm paraphrasing there, but like, that's the vibe, okay? I don't want to be in a box. I don't want to be on an app. I don't want to be hanging out anywhere. I don't want to be doing a single freaking thing that just does not bring me pure unadulterated joy, okay? No, not anymore, okay? And I could tell, I need to brighten this. Ugh. Just kidding, I just checked the preview and it turns out that I was wrong. My eyes are deceiving me. I guess this is why I actually wear glasses, because I can't see anything. Yeah, I started a blog. Actually, rewind, not even rewind. Let's repivot this conversation, right? I'm turning 31 this month. Yay! Honestly, yay. Big yay. That seems sarcastic, but big yay. Because I absolutely love being in my 30s. Being in my 30s has been, my 20s, I was a people pleaser. My 20s, I was so codependent. My 20s was really the era of me just trying to do whatever I could to get anybody to love me because I did not learn how to love myself. And I just never picked up those skills. But my 30s is all about loving myself, not even learning to love myself, because I did learn, I did pick things up along the way as I was constantly being dumped by friends, family, relationships, etc., etc. But I feel like my 30s really is the time of just giving that love that I have learned to gain for myself to myself. So I just love myself in such an unconditional way right now that I am pretty uncompromisable. And 20-year-old me on the inside is kind of cringing because I'm like, no, you're supposed to be flexible. No, you're supposed to be somebody who can roll with the punches. But like, why? Why? Because I've been that person. I was that person. And it didn't get me anywhere where I wanted to be. It didn't make me any happier than, I mean, if I'm comparing it to who I am now, right now being inflexible, right now being somebody who's not willing to compromise, somebody who's not willing to be anywhere or do anything I don't want to do, I am much happier now than I ever was in my 20s. And I'm not saying like, you know, there is obviously a happy medium to all these things, but I will say in my 30s, I may have found the happy medium, and the happy medium is I am very, very unwilling to compromise for a lot of things at this point. So back to my blog, I guess. Guess we're at that point in the conversation. So I started a blog because one of the things that I realized near the ending of my 20s was something about this internet stuff, something about this influencer stuff, and I think I actually talked about it in a video. And if I remember which video it is, I'll link it up here, but I realized that something has got to give because I'm not having fun. None of this means anything to me. And quite frankly, I'm having such a hard time doing it because we have algorithms we have to please. We have, you know, these brands we have to please. We have all of these aesthetics and, you know, trends that we have to adhere to. And I'm not young like that anymore. I'm not saying I'm not young because, hey, I still feel young as hell, but I'm not young like that anymore where I am in the Target demo and know what's going on in the Target demo to try and keep up with those trends. I also just really, really don't care about an algorithm because I grew up in a time where the algorithm grew up in a time. Jesus, we're really entering our auntie era here, aren't we? I had a time on the internet, I'm gonna say it like that. I had a time on the internet where there was no algorithm like it is now. And I'm not willing to fight it. You know how they say teach an old dog new tricks? Like, I don't want to be taught new tricks. I'm sorry. I love what I do and I love being able to just create and then having some sort of ownership over it, having some sort of freedom over it, having, not having to put myself in a box as to the parameters and how I have to create. Oh, if you're gonna take photos, you have to also do the behind the scenes so that you can fit it into a reel. Or, oh, if you're gonna do fashion content, you have to only dress in pinup or only dress in goth so that the algorithm can pick you up and shove you out to other goth or pinup loving people. Like, I just do not deal well with being in boxes, and I don't want to be in a box. I want to be able to enjoy my space. So I said, you know what? This is a couple $100 and I don't really got it like that, but this is gonna allow me the freedom to do whatever I want. And so I created a blog because I wanted to still be able to do my advocacy. I still wanted to be able to do my fashion. I still wanted to be able to do my makeup. I still wanted to be able to talk about turning 30 and being in your 30s, because I think being in your 30s gets such a bad rap. Everybody is so, especially women, are so scared to turn 30 because we just poof, turn to dust. And with the help of TikTok and social media, we're able to see what 30 really looks like. We're able to see what 40 and 50 and 60 really look like, with enhancements or without enhancements. When I say enhancements, I mean cosmetic surgery. We're able to see more representation now, other than, what the media wants to push out to us, that like we're decrepit and turn to dust and bones at 30. But I still feel like so many people have fears and preconceived notion of what it looks like to be 30. I will tell you right now, I think even people in their 30s have some sort of skewed misconception about what it looks like and what it is to be in your 30s, because I saw that trend where all the 30-year-olds are coming out and being like, I look like I'm 23. Babe, you look 30. And that's okay. Like, you look like you're in your late 20s to early 30s. And that's okay, because honestly, is there really that much change in our looks from, like, I'm gonna say 28, because we do hit like a second or third puberty where our bodies kind of boom. But I will say about 28 to like 35, are you really gonna look that different unless you're starting to wear whatever, your vices might be, or whatever traumas or hardships you endure? Like, are you really gonna look that different? Probably not. Maybe a few grays in there. I have to show you these beautiful grays I have. Of course, when I want to show you, you can't see them, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get a gray streak, and you will never be able to tell me anything if I get the glorious gray streak. You could not stop me. I will be a mommy. I will be a mommy and proud, okay? I do not care. But I just want the freedom to be able to exist. And I've been able to cultivate that. I've been able to see that happening in my real life. I want to be able to feel that when I get online. So there are certain things, like mind shift wise, that I've had to like change, such as like, and maybe if you're somebody who is an influencer, somebody who is working online, maybe some of these changes will like speak to you, and maybe it'll convince you to start a blog. I don't really know the point of this video, to be honest, except to tell you that we are not doing, or at least I can't speak for you. I would not dare speak for you. I would not dare. But I am not doing anything that I don't want to do anymore. And that is the main point of this. And it is actually, the main point is, in having that mindset, my life has had to change, okay? And going on to what I was trying to say was, in having a blog, I realized that I'm not a part of the rat race anymore. If the algorithms on social media want to bury me, so be it. I don't care. Honestly, I don't care anymore. I have a website, and the thing is, I have a website, and the people that want to go to my website will go to my website, and the people, if I'm buried, the algorithm will at least always show me to 1 or 2 people, right? Like, the idea that like we have thousands upon thousands of followers, I understand the frustration of, you build up this giant audience, right? And you're only being shown to like 10, 15, 100 of those people, but that is still 100 people. And if they want to, if they feel so compelled, then they can share that to their 100 people. And then somebody else can share that to their 100 people, Word of mouth still really, really matters, as long as you're giving people something to speak about, right? And yes, that sounds really terrible. That sounds really mean. Like, I don't mean to say that your stuff is not worth speaking about, because babes, I'm sure your stuff is brilliant. It's just, I'm saying word of mouth does mean something. Word of mouth will make your stuff travel. And if the algorithm wants to bury me, I don't care, because I know at least 15 people will still see something. It will never bury me to the point, I mean, fingers crossed, it will never bury me to the point of showing me to 0 people, right? And if it does that, then I guess I just make a new social media platform. Or not platform, but a new account, right? I don't know. But from my experience, even in all my times where I just like take months off, it will show you to at least, you know, a portion of people, and then those people will share, and then those people will share, and then word of mouth, you're spread again, and you're back up being shown to a couple thousand people. And so what am I going to share with those thousands of people? I don't want to share me going like that. I was embarrassed even doing that, but I am just not, I can't keep up with that stuff. I'm gonna partially throw the ableism card in there and just say, I cannot hear half these trends, okay? I am deaf. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, but I am deaf, so I cannot hear half these trends. I can dance, I actually can dance, but I don't want to, okay? I don't want to, all right? I don't want to dance. I don't want to shuck and jive for attention. Like, my ancestors fought so I did not have to do that. And I just refuse to do that, especially on some white-owned app I'm raising my eyebrows at that, okay? Like, no, you will not catch me unless it's really, really fun. But I haven't found one I wanted to do yet. And you all look cute doing them. This has nothing to do with anybody else, but everything to do with what I want to do. And that's ultimately what this all comes down to, is I don't want to do anything I don't want to do. And these apps will make you do a bunch of things that you want to do. So now I have to recondition my brain into remembering that, like, I don't have to play the game anymore. I'm out of the rat race. You know, I don't have to do what's trending. I don't have to fit into certain niches. I don't have to use certain hashtags. My whole behavior online is allowed to be 100% different, because no matter what, I own some domain. I own a piece of the internet that is not ruled by any of these algorithmic gods. Like, it's so freeing. Like, I'm just out there. It's freeing, but it's also, like I said, a mind shift, because my brain is just like, what do I do now? What do I do? Because I'm so used to doing this one thing. Now I have to behave in this other way, but I don't actually have to behave in any particular way because this is mine now. Being 30 has been really, really great, because I don't think I would have had the bravery to do this in my 20s. I think had I been in my 20s, I would have felt like I needed a good following in order to make having my own website successful. And at this point, I'm just like, I don't care about having to rely on these social media platforms for success. It's just not a part of me. I know the work that I am doing is, I trust in myself. I trust in my work. I trust in my mission enough to know that it can stand on its own. It's stuff that people, might be looking for on the Google searches and whatnot. It's stuff that, because I want to do more deaf advocacy, but I also still want to be able to, I'm a girly girl, I am one of those people that loves fashion and makeup. And, part of that is also, I love shape shifting, I love being able to fly between different aesthetics. And I feel like if I could give way and give space for people that are Googling, like, how do I get into 60s fashion? Or how do I start dressing goth when I, only have this in my closet? Or, if I could give way for those kinds of questions that are probably being searched and whatnot, then, like, I don't need to depend on these algorithms. I could just use them as a helping hand, but I don't really need them. The other thing I've realized, though, is all throughout my 20s, online, I was trying so hard to be just, like, in the middle of everything. Like not like a busybody, but like in the middle of, like, I didn't want to be too controversial, but I also didn't want to be like, hi. And I feel like a lot of my persona, or a lot of the things that I used to complain about, were the fact that I was like, it's really annoying because I'm pretty sure everybody online just thinks I'm like, ha, woo, yeah, woo, yeah. And like, that's just like not who I am. I don't want to say I'm grounded. That's what I'm looking for. I think like my 20s, I really played up this like youthful and young and exuberant personality. And I do have quite a youthful personality. I do have a certain naivete that kind of exists in me and will probably always exist in me because I just have a playfulness that exists in me. But I'm also like a mature grown-ass woman who has lived a lot, has seen a lot of things, has done a lot of things, and has some opinions about things. And I think when you're younger, you're more concerned with like, how do I get everybody to like me? And I just don't care about that now because I trust in the fact that I, number one, am likable. I am not a bad person. I'm doing the best I can with the tools I got. And anytime I gained a tool, I use that to refine and make better the way that I move throughout this world, as you should, as that's how you grow, you know? And I'm not as focused now as I was in my 20s, trying to be this person for everybody, trying to be universally liked. One demographic that for sure is like maybe the catching the brunt of this is the male demographic. And that's because honestly, like if you're not really getting paid by men, like why do you necessarily have to entertain them as a woman? Like there's not really a reason to, unless they just genuinely are there for the vibes, which some of my men are, and kudos to you. But you know, I just don't feel the need to entertain or be nice or play nice with anybody that I just don't have a reason to. I'm not mean. Don't get me wrong, I'm not mean. I just don't play anymore. Not like that. No. It's not necessary. It's just not necessary. And I'm realizing as I'm talking, so much of, you know, all of our lives are integrated with the online experience, with how we interact online, how we are online. And so I'm saying all of this stuff. And at first I thought this video was going to be about like how, you know, I'm starting a blog and how I have a blog and how being in my 30s has really empowered me to start a blog. But now I'm realizing that like how much of my internet experience has dictated, or maybe not dictated, but was dictated by my experience as who I was in my 20s. And so now my experience of who I am in my 30s is dictating my online experience. And my online experience really is who I am now, who is somebody who just will not do anything she does not want to do. It's just not worth it. And I'm trying to think of a good, smart way to wrap this up because I feel like I've done enough rambling at this point. But I guess if I could leave you on a good note or leave you on a note, something to think about is you don't ever have to, you are not a slave to these things, to people in your life. I mean, baby, I'm not talking about abuse situation, but I'm talking about just like, you're not a slave to your friend group that like, you just don't feel like gets you or you belong there. You're not a slave to these relationships where you're just like, I feel so alone, or I feel like, you know, I'm always having to do things for them, but they never do things for or with me, you know? You're not a slave to these algorithms, you know? You can make different choices. You can do different things. You can just go, I don't want to do this, so I'm just not going to do this anymore. You can do that, and you are allowed to do that, and it's going to be weird and it's going to be different, and you are going to feel like, I don't know what to do next, especially with this internet stuff. We are so conditioned and we are so used to relying at this point on social media for success. But the thing is, success has always existed without social media. It's going to exist again without social media. One day we're going to be out of the Renaissance. If we're not already dying out of the Renaissance of, you know, the golden age of social media, we are going to see that successful people are all the people that dared to say, I'm going to do something different and do it my way. And your way is going to be inherently different just because it's you. You know, like starting a blog isn't necessarily different, but my strategy is the way my brain is going to work, the way I put words into my blog post, the way that I'm choosing to integrate things. There is going to be an inherent slight differentness from somebody else who maybe does similar thing, because I am me and nobody else is like me. And those are the things that are going to make us successful. Those are the things that are going to make you more successful. It's just honoring yourself and staying true to you. If staying true to you means you are participating in the dance challenges and the trends, and you know you're on top of all of that, then you do that, because that's honestly, that in and of itself is a skill. You know, we really like to devalue social media and TikTok and all of that stuff as skills. It is a skill if you are able to do that. Whatever feels, you know, most compelling and true and authentic to you, do that. But what you don't have to do is make yourself into something you don't want to make yourself. And I just spent so many years trying to make myself fit into this social media mold, only to realize that that's not my mold. My mold is out there. What I'm supposed to be doing is, you know, outside of that. And that's okay too. My journey is gonna look a little bit different, a little bit more strange. There might be more fumbling about because I don't really know what this path looks like, but I am willing to figure it out because this feels right. This feels good. I'm having fun. I'm having so much fun. I'm also really, really sweaty right now, and I can guarantee you I'm sweating out any press out I had. So we're gonna wrap this up, but it's really nice chatting with you all. And check out my website, my blog, I'll link it down below. And until next time, I will talk to you soon.